In slow motion, we're just floating so out and free, and it all makes sense to me. If I'm gonna die a young American, and this was the final night we'd ever have again, I'd be just fine as long as I'm wherever you are, 'cause you stole my young American heart.
Good evening, America. This is Flame of the West, and I am Eric Perrine. And I've got a few things I just want to cover with you this evening. I'm going to dive right into it. First of all, we've got some new released footage, some new, I would say, inconsistencies with Epstein. So I would like to address those and go through everything, kind of show you what's not adding up, and then let you decide. Got a few other topics too, but we'll jump right into it. So first, we've got the Epstein thing. So CBS has got a new. They found a new video that was in the files, and it looks like you can kind of see a glimpse of an orange shape moving upstairs. Also in those files, CBS did a phenomenal job. I gotta hand it to CBS. I usually don't give them any credit, but I gotta hand it to CBS this time. They actually did a very nice job at at reporting this. But they found the noose that was in Jeffrey Epstein's cell was not the real noose. It wasn't used. They've never found the real noose. What's that all about? I've got a lot of questions there and no answers to that. Um, so it looks like that noose. I mean, if you go back, my guess is it was probably added at some point in time later on. It was probably added later on. I mean, who knows? So we've got that. The official time of death, they placed it around 6:30 or so. They said the body was freezing by then. So my guess is, maybe he passed away. Maybe they passed away earlier than that. We've got Ghislaine Maxwell came out within the last couple days, and all of a sudden now she's changing her tune. She's pleading the fifth on everything. And then she says she wants to make a deal to exonerate Trump and Clinton. What the heck? And I look at it and say, okay, if I don't think he is, but if Trump is in the files, we should know. We should know everything. We should there should be no everybody should be held accountable on this. And then just noticed today that the US Manhattan attorney had come out and they had written a letter on the 9th of the month that Jeffrey Epstein died, on the 9th, the date the 9th. They'd written a letter talking about his death, but yet Jeffrey didn't die till the 10th. So I've got a lot of questions on that as well. But yet you get a lot of questions, but we got no answers. It's just, and I don't know what's going on at the DOJ. I don't know if they're, overloaded, if they've taken on too much. I don't know. So we need some serious answers. So first, I want to show you the clip that CBS presented. They did a phenomenal job with it. But I'd like to show you this clip. Take of it however you would. But I'll go ahead and play that here, and then you can decide for yourself what you think. But you can see a shadow, kind of orange figure moving up the stairs, and they zoom in, which is very nice, convenient. Highlight it for you. So what the heck's that all about? I mean, they ruled that it was clearly somebody walking up the stairs. CBS came out, said had an expert, some kind of expert, look at it, and determined that yes, it was a person walking up the stairs. So now I've got even more questions. I'm like, okay, we got somebody walking up the stairs. We've got at a time of night, that everybody should have been in the cell. I mean, there's just so many questions, and then they dump this. They dump 3 million pages of documents out. Yeah, like we're gonna have time to go through all of those. So I know that Congresswoman Nancy Mace has said that she wants to go to the DOJ this week, look at unredacted files, and she wants to look at specifically look for not victims, not names of victims, but she wants to look for co-conspirators. And which I 100% agree. Let's get these SOBs. They have they have no business of walking free. And it almost, I don't know, this is me, this is my opinion, just some random dude on a webcam, but I just get the feeling that somebody's being they're covering up for somebody, covering up for something. We had the DOJ earlier last year has said, if we released all these names, then we would, the government would shut down. It'd go into chaos. Well, who's in there? So just a lot of questions. Maybe we'll never know. But I think that we deserve to know. So I just wanted to bring some of these things to your attention. These are things that as time goes on, that maybe we want to pay attention to, and just make sure that we're not that we're being told the whole truth, that we're being told everything. And I think that's important. Okay, so next I want to touch on Friday, the United States arrested somebody in connection with Benghazi. Does anybody remember Benghazi? It was quite a few years ago. It was 2012. That was under the Obama administration. There was an attack on our embassy in Benghazi that led to the death of some soldiers and our ambassador. And that was under the watch of Barack Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The DOJ's just now made an arrest to Benghazi in connection with Benghazi from 2012. And they just now made an arrest. Just now. Obama, I remember. Oh, it was a video. It was a video. It was the video that was made. And that's why people were upset. They bombed it. Oh, that's a load of crap. It was a terrorist attack, and everybody knows it. Everybody knew it. So finally we get some justice out of that whole debacle. So we've got New York Post did a nice article as well on that. They stated that one of the architects of the deadly 2012 attack on the U.S. Mission in Benghazi, Libya, has been arrested and will be prosecuted on arson, murder, attempted murder, and terrorism charges, the Justice Department officials announced Friday. Zubair al-Bakush landed at Joint Andrews Air Force Base at 3 a.m. this morning, which was Friday. He is in our custody. He was greeted by FBI Director Kash Patel and DC U.S. District Attorney Janine Pirro. Attorney General Pam Bondi told reporters at DOJ headquarters. So, thank the Lord, we finally get some kind of justice, some kind of accountability for what happened to those brave men and women. So it looks like Al Bakush has uh, Islamic extremist ties. They said will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and that Pirro, Judge Janine Pirro, had said that her team will not stop hunting down the other attackers who remain at large. Obviously, we know that this is a network. You know, there can't just be one. One guy didn't do all this, obviously. So hopefully she'll find him. Hopefully we'll finally have justice for those men and women that were attacked that day. So that's another. I suppose you can look at it as good news. I certainly did. Um, we've got so we've got the Iranian issue of things that are going on in Iran right now. We've got the U.S. State Department is now issuing warnings to U.S. citizens to evacuate immediately. So it's like, what the heck's going on there? They know something's going down. We had yesterday, or I should say Sunday, the F-22s were not available for the flyover at the Super Bowl. There was scuttle that they were on another mission. I've seen reports that 24 F-22s have been deployed to the Middle East. We've got carrier groups going out that way. So something's going down, whether it just be a show of force or they're gearing up for maybe another Venezuela. Maybe this is going to be Venezuela 2.0. Hopefully we can get this one done in under 33 minutes. We'll break our own record on this. But the U.S. has what's called a virtual embassy in Iran, but they issued a security alert Friday, telling Americans to, quote, leave Iran now. They also said, quote, increased security measures, road closures, public transportation disruptions, and internet blockages are currently ongoing. The government of Iran continues to restrict access to mobile, landline, and national internet networks. Airlines continue to be limited or cancel flights to and from Iran. So, obviously, we know the unrest that's going on with the protests there in Iran. We've got 30 to 40,000 dead that Iran has unfortunately killed, and that number's growing. Something's got to change. Something's going to have to come to a head there with the Ayatollah, because it's just not working. So that's definitely something that we want to keep on our radar. I want to make everybody aware of. So let's see. We've got a little bit of good news, and we've got some pretty trashy news. I think we'll start with the trashy news first. It's clearly the best. As many of you may or may not have heard, New York now has a new mayor, Mayor Zohran Mamdani. And Zohran Mamdani is, he's just the best. You know, he's just so good that we now have trash lining the streets. I mean, I don't know what could be better, you know? At least the trash is separating you from the road. It's just, after watching this footage, it's just disgusting. I mean, this is one of the greatest cities on earth. And we've got trash lining the streets. We've got a commie Muslim in office who hasn't even been there for a couple of weeks. We've got freaking trash on the street, people. It's just pure insanity. All right, everybody, take a look at this. This is just nuts.
So it shouldn't surprise you when you see what it is that Mamdani's doing with New York. I call it phase one of the plan.
New Yorkers are now living among mountains of trash. 11 days after the Manhattan snowstorm, the streets remain buried under piles of garbage, and the city government has done little to fix it. Many residents say the city is slowly turning into an open-air landfill. Filthy black snow, garbage soup flooding the sidewalks, ice rinks on every corner, cars buried like fossils, people slipping, breaking ankles, no one shoveling, no one salting, no one doing anything. This is New York City, 3 minutes from the mayor's house. Under Mayor Mamdani, the city that never sleeps is becoming the city that never sweeps. Towering 8-foot-high piles of rat-infested trash are choking the streets around Gracie Mansion, while the mayor's residence appears to receive spotless white-glove treatment. And yet, Mamdani publicly claims he can't imagine how things could get better, even as more and more New Yorkers express anger over what they see as a complete failure of responsibility and basic civic duty. On the Upper East Side, residents are still forced to trudge through garbage-covered streets, dodging rats and walking past snowbanks soaked with dog urine a full week after Winter Storm Fern.
That right there is what New York has. And if you don't think that's getting worse, oh.
That's gross. That's just disgusting. I can't. We are the greatest nation on earth. We're the most prosperous nation that the world has ever seen. And this is what we got? Trash on the street. But we are worried. I want you to know, people, we have got the ice is not going to come into that city and take anybody. Mamdani's got it. Frickin' joke. Sorry, I'm going to get all worked up, but it's just asinine. This is insanity. When's New York? New York voted for this. They are getting exactly what they asked for. It's just hard to imagine, folks, that the same city who had Rudy Giuliani on 9/11, the same city who swears every year that we will never forget. And guess what? They forgot. It's just sad. And if you don't think that they're not going to try this in every major city, you're wrong. This is why we have to vote. Our local elections are so important. Our school board, our mayors, councils. Otherwise, you could wind up like this. Trash lining your schools, trash lining your streets, because you've got somebody incompetent in office. It's just pure insanity. All right, well, that was our trash talk for the day. Let's move on before we all get a little too worked up. I'll save the good news for last. That way we can end on a high note. Sunday, some of you may or may not have watched the the Super Bowl. You know, I can't say I had any interest in the Super Bowl this year, so I did not watch. Nor did I watch the halftime show. I should say I didn't watch it live. I tuned in live to Turning Point USA, their All-American halftime show. And what I saw was a well, very well put together show of our American values. It was great. It was short. You had it about a half hour ish, give or take. So it was about the length of the normal halftime show. And there was nothing that made me upset. There was nothing that made me think, man, this could have been done better. But then we have Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Yeah. That halftime show, it was bad. It was so bad that thankfully it was in Spanish. Because if it was in English, I think that somebody'd probably be going to jail. I think the FCC needs to get involved because the vulgarity, the language that was spewed by Bad Bunny in the lyrics that he performed, the song lyrics that he performed on Sunday was grotesque. I don't even know if I can read them. It's bad. And you had families watching this. You had little kids watching this. You know, it's just insane. You know, I just don't understand why anybody thinks that's okay. And what is the NFL saying? What kind of message are they sending by putting up somebody like that? I can't even read this. I want to read this to you, but I can't even read this. Maybe I'll just put it on the screen. Yes, here, let me just put it on the screen. Bear with me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can't even say these out loud. These are just so beyond sick. But I'll let you be the judge. These are lyrics from Safa Era. Safa Era. Yeah. These are the lyrics that were sung at the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl. Every singer's dream is to perform at the Super Bowl. I mean, you don't get a much more prestigious stage than the Super Bowl. And this is the kind of garbage that you spew? I'm sorry. This is sick. This is irreprehensible. And the NFL owes the American people the biggest apology ever. I can't even believe that this is allowed. What is that saying? What are they trying to do? I mean, this is a clear attack on our values, on family. I mean, you know that there were people watching that speak Spanish, kids watching that speak Spanish. How do you explain that as a parent? How do you explain that to your children? After watching people grinding and twerking on camera, how do you explain that to your children? This is not what America is about. It's sick. And I pray that the NFL comes to their senses. I've read that a few congressmen and women are approaching the FCC to talk about fining the NFL over the language and vulgarity that was used, which I think is needed. The only way these people are going to listen is if you hit their pocketbook. That's the only way these people listen. And they don't care. They don't even care. They don't care that most of the country, they don't care that 78 million of you voted against this. They don't care. All right, everybody, I'm going to get worked up if I keep going on about this. All right, let's talk about some good news. We had last week that the president attended the National Prayer Breakfast, and he said something. His speech was very good. I would encourage everybody to go back and watch all of it. He's a great speaker. He's humorous too. Anywho, but he said something in the speech that that strikes the nation. I think this is a incredible turning point. If we can get this done the way that he described, and knowing the president, he's going to go all out for something like this. But if we can get this done, that this will be a major accomplishment for the country. I think this will turn the country around. But the president declared that on the, I believe it's the 17th of May, as part of the Freedom 250, which is the official events for the 250th birthday of America, that he will rededicate America as one nation under God. So he will be rededicating America to God. And I think this is so important. Because we've just completely fallen away from that as a nation. But if we can get this done, I think this will be a reigniting of of truth, a reigniting of faith, because it's very clear that we have to bring God back into the nation. It has to happen. There's no question about it. So I will play the clip from the president when he stated that he will be bringing that back. Here we go.
To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people...
There you have it. One nation under God. We will always be one nation under God. Because if we're not, in the words of the great Ronald Reagan, we will be one nation gone under. This nation is only one generation away from losing its freedom. One generation away from losing it. And this president is not going to let that happen. It's very clear. It's very apparent. So that was some good news last week. I think that was a much needed, and I think that will be a much. I think that'll be a good renewal for the nation to bring people back together. I mean, heck, we've even seen our churches have seen a renewal in the last 5-6 months. Unfortunately, that was probably due to the loss of Charlie, who we miss dearly. But this is amazing. Another little bit of good news I'd like to touch on, that the Dow Jones hit over 50,000 for the first time in history last week. And I think this is a very significant milestone. It's proof to all of the liberals out there who are saying, "Oh, that the economy is not what we think it is." Yes, it is. This economy is being turned around. I mean, for the Dow to hit 50,000 for the first time in history, of course it's turning around. Of course it is. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, I've noticed gas prices are dropping, except for in California, which we won't even talk about that because that's a whole another episode. But I think we're on the cusp of greatness, folks. We're witnessing something that we've never seen before. And we're only 1 year in. We got 3 more to go. So I'm pretty excited. All right, last topic I want to touch on. Just kind of want to encourage everybody. The SAVE Act. SAVE Act is set to be voted on this week by the Senate. It has already passed the House. The SAVE Act is the safeguard of elections. And this is a big one. This is a This is an act, a bill that will require voter ID for all federal elections. So right now you have a lot of states that don't require voter ID. They just also happen to be the states that turn blue every election cycle. But we can't have that. And we cannot have somebody walking into an election booth that you don't know who they are. You wouldn't allow somebody in your home without knowing who they are. You call the plumber. They come in. They have proof that they're the plumber. The FBI shows up at your house to ask you questions. What is the first thing they do? Show you their identification so you know. We can't, if we can't do this, this is going to be detrimental for our future. The Democrats know that once this is passed, that this is going to be an upset. Because we're already seeing in a lot of these deep blue states, New York, California, Oregon, that they're having net loss of people. The people are moving out. We'll just put it, I'll put it a little nicer. The people are leaving. They've had it. They've had it with all of this garbage. Literally, garbage. And they're losing seats. They are losing seats in the House. Because they're losing people. I mean, the House is district on population. You lose people, you lose seats. The Democrats are going to take a hit this next census when they remap everything. I think they're scared. I think this is I think they're worried. I think this is this is their last ditch effort. I mean, for Chuck U. Schumer to stand up there and say, "Oh, the SAVE Act is racist. The SAVE Act is misogynist against women. Because when women get married, then they their name's different, and they don't know how to go change it, so you can't. Do you think these people are stupid? Oh, it's racist against black people because they don't have ID. Oh, come on. I encourage all of you to go to visit Glenn Beck's Twitter account or his website and just see the list of everything he put up that you need an ID for. It's like this long in size 10 font. There's easy 50, 60 things on there. Buying a car, renting an apartment, getting a lottery ticket, buying alcohol. So according to the Democrats, it's racist because, black people and all other minorities, they don't know how to, they've never bought alcohol before because they can't get an ID. They've never rented an apartment because they can't get an ID. They've never bought a car. And they're the ones that call us racists. I just can't even believe it. These people are These people are sick. But they don't care. It's all about them. It's all about their power. It's all about the money, the power and the money. It's just, they don't care about you and me. They just want to save themselves. Sick. It's really sick. But I encourage everybody to contact their senator politely, respectfully, tell them why this is important to you, why this is important to the nation, and tell them to be a co-sponsor of this bill. We're fortunate here in the state of Indiana. We have the great Jim Banks, the Senator Jim Banks, who was already an initially co-sponsor. Our second senator was on the fence. Originally wasn't going to vote for it. But as of this morning, he has sided with the SAVE Act, and he is now a co-sponsor. So to that, Senator Young, Todd Young, I thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you for standing up for what's right and for the nation. Senator Banks, if you're listening, as always, we appreciate everything you do as well. You're a true hero and a true patriot for the country and for the state of Indiana. But I encourage everyone to contact their senator, whether they're already signed up for it or not. Just call them. Just say, hey, we've got to have safe, secure elections. You know, don't be angry, don't be agitative, be very respectful, and just say, look, we have to, and the studies show CNN did a panel a couple weeks ago showing that 81% of African Americans are for it. It was 77% of African Americans, I believe. 81% of Democrats are in favor of it. 95% of Republicans. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We just can't. We cannot continue to allow our elections to be overrun by people we don't know. That's just not okay. So I encourage everybody, yes, please call your senators. Let them know how important this is. But yes, I just wanted to jump on this evening. I wanted to tell everybody, kind of go through some things over the weekend. I would encourage everybody to pray for the nation, pray for our president, pray for our senators this week for the passage of the SAVE Act. Now, look, the worst thing that could happen with the SAVE Act is Democrats try to push it into a filibuster, and we don't have 60 votes to get out of a filibuster. Now, if Tom Massey will push it into a standing filibuster, what that means is that every member of the Democrat Party or the filibustering party has time to speak twice. And they have to stand, hence the name standing filibuster. And at the end of it, it's a normal vote. They get two rounds. They got to stand. So that could gridlock it for a month. But that month will show their true colors. It'll show the American people how sick these people are. 81% of Democrats want the bill. So why are the Democrats against it? So we've got to pray for our senators. We have to get this done. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you listening to me rant. I just wanted to fill you in on some things through the week, some things to watch for. And as always, as things come up, we will let you know. We'll write articles. So stay tuned. Watch all our socials. Like, share, subscribe this video. Like and share this video. Subscribe to Flame of the West on YouTube, on Rumble, on all our socials. I've got them scrolling there at the bottom. We would greatly appreciate it. And as always, may the Lord Jesus Christ be with you. May his blessings come down upon you. Keep the flame alive. Good night, America. Thanks for watching.